viso, impianto in riso e menzognero. La donna immobile, qual piuma al vento, muta d'accetto e di pensier. E di pensier. Chi a lei s'affida, chi le confida, mal cauto il core, ormai non sentesi felice appieno, chi il su quel seno non li pavore. La donna è mobile, qual piuma al vento, muta d'accetto. Pensier e di pensier
Welcome to this very, very special occasion of the 90th birthday of Ruth Goodwin Cookson. My name is Terence Parker. I am a friend of the family for decades, and I have a very great privilege of being the Master of Ceremonies this evening. I hope that you are going to make it as memorable occasion as Ruth would want you to have it. You may also realize that you've been given a gift, the gift of a bookmark. This gift is for you, strangely enough. Your gift is made of recycled paper. It's made by a group called Gifts with a Conscience, and it's got seeds planted into the bookmark, and instructions on the bookmark of how you should plant those seeds. And Karen wants you to have an experience of Ruth's occasion. She wants you to remember this as a special occasion. But if you are able to plant those seeds, you will be able to remember this event long into the future. So a wonderful gesture. So thank you to them for giving us gifts. For those of you who have come with gifts, you may have received a message to say that when you are a woman of means like Ruth, you have everything. At 90, what is possibly that she could want? And so she said that if you want to give her a gift, she's committed to a community project in Delft, the Masake project, which teaches children how to play a musical instrument. And this NPO is the custodian, is going to be the beneficiary of anybody who wants to give a gift to Ruth this evening. So thank you, Ruth, for enriching the children of Delft and making a difference in the lives of children with talent. From the invitation, you know that there are many items that will be included in this evening's program. And I met Auntie Ruth in the 1980s in the Bakencan Street Church. I was attracted to the church through the activism of that community. And Auntie Ruth was always a presence in that community. And I've always known Auntie Ruth as being a part of my church community. And so it's appropriate that we ask our pastor at Central Methodist Mission, Reverend Alan Story, to begin our evening with a word of prayer, which will include thanks for the blessing of the fruit. Thank you.
Thanks, Terence. Good evening, everyone. Hi, Ruth.
Hi. Don't give him the secrets of it.
I've had Ruth giving it to me from the pews already this morning. She acts very coy and shy when you want to announce her birthday, and then stands up and gives you the full. Anyway, we see you, Ruth. We see you, and we enjoy you. So let me read from Psalm 16. The first words are easily spoken by Ruth. The Lord is my chosen portion and my cup. You hold my lot. The Lord holds your lot. And then the psalmist declares, the boundary lines of my life, the boundary lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. I have a goodly heritage. And the psalm ends with these words, therefore my heart is glad, my soul rejoices, my body also rests secure. For you do not give me up to Sheol, or let your faithful one see the pit. You show me the path of life. In your presence there's the fullness of joy. In your right hand are pleasures forevermore. Let's pray together. So gracious God, we give you thanks this wonderful, wonderful day of celebration. We thank you for your faithfulness. We thank you that you're the one who has breathed your breath of life into Ruth. We gather, O God, on this 90th year, and yet we here not simply to celebrate the longevity of Ruth, for which of course we give you thanks. But more than that, we know that life is not simply about how long we live, but how we live. So today, O God, we give you thanks for how you have enabled Ruth to live, for her faithfulness, responding to your faithfulness. Thank you for the joy that she still has, the interest that she has, the care that she has for life, for the people around her. Thank you that she's always got a story to tell, even if we've heard it a million times.
Sorry about that.
It's beautiful, Ruth. Thank you that you still want to tell it. Thank you for literally the abundance of your life that overflows. And so thank you, God, for blessing us, again, not just for the length, but the depth of the life. Lord God, you're the one who spoke creation into being. We read that you spoke, but you probably sang. We thank you for all that Ruth has sung into being. We thank you for artists, so often misunderstood, so often underrated, and yet they enable us to sing not in denial of what's happening, but in resistance. They enable us to find a place upon which we can stand hopeful of a new tomorrow. And so thank you for Ruth the artist, Ruth the singer, Ruth the actor. So as we gather tonight, Lord God, in this wonderful place, surrounded by beautiful people, we thank you too for food and for the time that we'll spend together, that we're going to be nourished through music, through song, and through bread. We pray, Lord God, that you will strengthen us from tonight to work for a day where others may experience the fullness of life that you so desire. So hear our prayer. We pray with great thanksgiving in our hearts. Amen.
Thank you, Alan. Those of you who know Ruth know that she's been surrounded by many people over the years. And there were people who celebrated her 80th birthday 10 years ago that are no longer here. And the family would like to remember those who would have been here had they not been called home. And therefore, we are going to light candles in honor of those who have not been able to join us tonight in body, but certainly are with us in spirit. And we give thanks for the lives of those who have been part of Ruth's life, and we remember them this evening as we continue our celebrations. I'm going to ask the Wired String Quartet to lead us in some music. They are going to enrich our evening with music, so thank you very much.
Good evening, everybody. It's a great privilege for us to be here and able to perform for Ruth. We were part of your 80th celebration, Ruth, and it's lovely for us to be here today. We're going to start with a beautiful piece of music that was written for King George I of England, The Hornpipe by Handel. If you can imagine the king on the Thames River on the royal barge with his aristocratic friends, and next to him another barge with 50 musicians playing this piece. It so delighted the king that he asked for it to be repeated 3 times. And you might wonder what was happening in South Africa in 1717 when this piece was written. Well, we were starting out. There were only 5,000 people living in Cape Town at that time. So forthwith, the hornpipe.
Hawaiian String Quartet for those beautiful renditions, especially listening to the sounds of Abdullah Ibrahim, the wedding. It's not your wedding, is it? Could very well be. Folks, the starters are going to be served at your table, so please enjoy that as we prepare for the next musical item. Okay, we welcome the Apostolic Church Choir, and we will await the next. Thank you.
Lord God, in power and glory, abounding, praise and worship rise to thee, praise and worship rise to thee, praise and worship, praise and worship, praise and worship, praise and worship rise to thee.
All the music that you've done and the way you do it. So I want to say thank you very, very much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Cora. Oh, really wonderful.
Thank you very much.
From my heart.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and the way you do it. And
Mommy watches every Sunday. And she's now saying, oh, you said that they have TV. I want it.
I watch you every night on
Thank
on
you.
a program. The singing, it takes my heart really, because I love it. But the way you do it, that's the other thing. So I would say a very, very big thank you for Cora
Thank you.
getting you people here, because I didn't know about it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's so I'm sure that you know that the history of the Eon Group, a group formed in the 1930s as a cultural group in the District 6 area. It was a group that promoted the performing arts amongst the folk of District 6. So there was a ballet, a group doing ballet, folk dance, sewing, singing, etc. And in 1943, the school, or the Eon Group, they invited a musical director who started teaching, started with a small choir group of people as a small choir that eventually became the amateur opera company. The history of the Eon Group has been well documented. In fact, the University of Stellenbosch has all the archives of the Eon Group. And I understand that 2 books have been written to document the history of the Eon Group. The one is called Eon, Our Story. And another one is called The Traviata Affair, Opera in the Age of Apartheid, by Hilda Ruth. There's also a movie called The Inconsolable Memory by Arian Kaganov, who in 2013 produced a movie that tells the story of the Eon Group. Now, Ruth's history is intertwined with that of the Eon Group. And some of you who are here today actually know Ruth from those days, from the days of the Eon Group. And when you hear the word La Traviata, or Rigoletto, or Madame Butterfly, there was a time when the name Ruth Goodwin Cookson, was associated with the main roles in those operas. In 2006, Ruth was honored for her contribution to the performing arts. A group calling themselves the South African Women for Women, I think it's a Canadian group, along with affirming Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela for her role in the struggle for human rights in South Africa, Dr. Wendy Orr for her role as an activist medic, Fatima Mir for her role in working amongst the oppressed. And that same year, the one and only Ruth Cookson was awarded the South African Women for Women Award for the Performing Arts, 2006. The tribute speaks about her singing career, starting in 1945, when she joined the Conservatoire of Music in Cape Town as a music student. For 3.5 years, she trained under the guidance of Ms. Valerie Parkins. Thereafter, she spent 4 years receiving tuition in singing at the University of Cape Town's College of Music under the tutorship of Mr. Ernest Dennis. At the same time, she also studied voice training under the very capable guidance of the well-known opera singer, Ms. Olga Magnoni. And she sang in roles in Violetta, Rigoletto, Madame Butterfly. And and Handel's Messiah, part of which was sung today. Ruth has been part of the entire production of Handel's Messiah. And so the singing, the performing of this music tonight goes very, very deep, touches a heartstring very deep down in Ruth's heart. And we give thanks for the way that music enriches lives and the way that Ruth's music has enriched the lives of so many people over the years. So let's bathe in the beauty of that music by the New Apostolic Choir as we prepare for our mains, and we will prepare for more performances as the evening progresses. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. As I mentioned, Ruth is committing any gift that you wanted to give to her to the organization Masaki, which enriches or empowers young people to play musical instruments in Delft. And I look forward to hearing from a representative of Masaki.
Thank you.
Please welcome.
Good evening. Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure and privilege to be in your presence. I've always heard about you in my family because my dad and them used to be part of the Eon group as well, thousands of years ago. My dad actually was born in 1898. He would have been 121 years old today. So when you talk about a Lard Lamiki, this is the Lard Lamiki standing in front of you. My mom would have been 101, so I was really a Lard Lamiki. Daddy served in both World Wars. And as you said in an interview 30 years ago, that you would wake up in the morning and play the piano on a Sunday while mommy's cooking the meal.
That's right.
And you would sing with.
Yes.
That was the custom in our home as well, because Daddy played music by ear. And my brother would play the violin, and my mom and I and my cousin would be singing along until we go to church. I also happen to be New Apostolic, and I'm very proud of the cultural side of our church, the music. It teaches young people to really, really appreciate music, but above all, music teaches discipline. It also teaches mathematics. And I just received a WhatsApp earlier today from the conductor out in Delft, in Leiden, where the kiddies were practicing. And if you don't mind, thank heavens for modern technology. Not that I understand it that well, but I try. I just want to play a small piece of what they play today.
Are you speaking about the children from school?
This is the children at the Masaki Foundation School. And this is where the majority of us as musicians started. So they are starting out playing, and they will have a concert, to which I will invite you, in the City Hall with Richard Koch. So they will be playing there, their little piece, and it's just going to be there 3-4 notes with the accompaniment of the orchestra behind them. You should see their faces when they do this. We in Klapmuts as well, and we teach the children there. We have 5 kiddies in our music group that is fetal alcohol syndrome. And when they sit there and they play this instrument, as this taught them discipline and peace and quiet and also to count. And this is the beauty of what we are trying to do. We don't just do music with them. We also feed them, for quite often, this is the last meal of the day for those children. When you look at the homes that has been built in Delft, you will see that those homes are overcrowded to a point that you could not believe that people are all fitting into that space. And when those young children go home to have something to eat, it might just be a slice of bread. But when they have to eat, they sit outside on the pavement to eat. There's no space inside for children. And outside on the pavement, there is tuck, there is alcohol, there is gang fights, there's all kinds of things that go on a daily basis. Our children run to go and see when there's gunshots. That's why our children get killed in crossfire, because they run to go and see these things. And they get into huge, huge difficulty with this. But that is how they socialize, and that is how they grow up. So we try and teach them with the beauty of music, to bring them out of that venue, to bring them out of that site, just for a little while. One of these days, the Cape Town Symphony Orchestra is going to come through and have a concert with them, so that they can have a fun day. So for this privilege and honor for me to be here this evening, and for you to have selected Masake Foundation as your beneficiary this evening, I thank you. You are a beautiful rose, and your scent will remain in this garden of life for a very long time, and make an impression on children whom you have not seen, but whose hearts you have touched, and lives you have moved. So for that, I thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Just finally, in the front there is a box for your donations, but there's also a little pamphlet, an information pamphlet to show you what we do. And when you read it, you are most welcome to contact me at any time and come and see for yourself that what we say we do is exactly what we do. Enjoy the evening further. Thank you, Auntie Ruth.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll now wait for the main course to be served. Please enjoy. The first speaker that I'm going to call up is a lifelong friend of Ruth, somebody that has been Ruth's medical doctor and counselor and everything that you can imagine. In fact, she'll never mention this, but she actually saved Ruth's life. One day, Ruth called her to say that I have a headache. And Elaine's quick response resulted in a recovery much quicker than it would have been. So Elaine has a very special place in Ruth's heart, and we're going to ask Elaine to say a few words. Elaine, thanks.
Now be careful what you say, Elaine.
There is medical
Don't say the
privilege.
bad things about me, eh?
Well, here we are again, another few years down the line. And all of us are here tonight to wish our friend Ruth a very, very happy birthday and a blessed birthday. I'm not going to speak from, by the way, I was never Ruth's doctor, that's not true. She was my friend, and the only reason I actually got involved in how ill she was is because I came back from abroad, and one night I phoned to say hi, and she said, I've got a headache. I say, you stay just there where you are, I'm coming up now. And I had an automatic car, and the down car wouldn't start that night. But anyway, I got to Ruth, and she was so stubborn, she went to hospital, and then refused to sign a consent form until I came along. That was my involvement with it. Has Ruth changed? No, she's still exactly the same. I'm not going to talk about many of the other things, but one of the things I'd like to say is that talking to Ruth over the years about the time that she grew up, the thing that struck me is that what we as a community in Cape Town have lost, because Ruth tells me that when she was at primary school and at high school, she was surrounded by teachers and people who loved music. The teachers played piano, they played the violin, there were competitions in between schools. All of that has been lost in our communities. It just doesn't exist anymore. And my grouse again is tonight, I'm going to say the same thing I said 4 years ago at Ruth's last party, that I am holding certain people responsible, and I will speak to them again after this, because I do feel that all of what Ruth has to be documented. Otherwise we're going to lose that as well. I was talking to Ruth this afternoon, and she was talking, for example, about Louis Jeniker. All of these treasures have been lost. We don't know where they are. And there are so many things that Ruth has got a vast collection of material. And if people can do PhDs on somebody else, I don't see why somebody can do a PhD on Ruth. Because I really feel very strongly about it, because it's part of what Cape Town was about at the time when Ruth was growing up. And it's part of what Ruth meant to people in terms of introducing them to music. People like me, I came from a Karoo. What did I know about classical music or opera? Because I'm a class girlie. And when I met Ruth, I was a second or third year medical student. And I've now been a doctor for 50 years, so that tells you how long I've known Ruth. And we've been many things to each other. Her children are my children. She lived in my home and I went abroad to study. So we come a long way. We don't talk about the bad things we've had. We had those as well, but we've had many, many good times, and we've had lovely times. And we continue to have lovely times. And one of our greatest fun is when I come from abroad, like I do 3 to 4 times a year, I sit down in the front room and we talk about the same stories we talked about last year. We repeat the same stories and laugh at the same old jokes. But that's what it's all about. It's memories for us. And all I want to say to you, Ruth, is continue for at least the next 10 years, because we're looking forward to the 100th birthday. We might have to come in the wheelchairs and the hearing aids and the walking sticks, but we'll be there. And the other thing I wanted to say to Karen, who is a wonderful daughter, and the other children in the family who've looked after Ruth, continue to do the good work. And thank you for arranging for these beautiful people to come here tonight to entertain us.
And the music.
The music was wonderful. I'm leaving tomorrow night. I go back to the UK where I now live and work. But I tell you, the voices of the people in the choir will resound as that plane takes off.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Elaine, and we echo the thanks and the appreciation for all that people do to support and love Ruth. I'm going to ask Margaret Newman, to come and say a few words.
I know you?
Another lifelong friend.
Now be very careful what you say about me.
Or else, no tea when you visit next time. We don't visit
No
tea
sense,
anyway.
there's no censorship.
Hello. Hello, Ruth. My
Love to
children,
have me here, Margaret.
my children, lifelong friend. Ruth has been my friend for more than 75 years.
Such a long time.
So we've
been through spring, we've been through summer. I think we've just about completed our autumn years. And I'm quite sure that we're looking forward to a winter years with lots of sunny days in between. Good. I see Ruth as a very honest person. She's generous, she's unselfish, and that is why she shares so much with people. And that's why people enjoy her company. And as Elaine had said, whenever we get together, we always recall the past, those happy days. And we never leave Ruth with a sad face, no matter what the circumstances. And we've been through our winter days. There were some curveballs that touched her, that touched me, but we survived. And I think Ruth will survive for the next 10 years. I was here, I think I was here at the podium 10 years ago, and I think I foresaw the period that Ruth would spend between her 80 and 90, that it was going to be hilarious, and I think it has proved to be. And I think whatever is endowed by her now is what she deserves, and I think we must really just appreciate all that. Ruth has got we've got a little story, and Ruth always says to me, "Oh, I like that little story." And it was a story when Ruth was also 80, and I was 80, and then I challenged her, and I said, "Ruth, come, let's go for a walk to the beach." Anyway, so we went to Sea Point Beach. But Ruth said, "No, man, I don't feel like going." I said to Ruth, "Come on, man, we're gonna eat an ice cream with a lick, and we want to walk up the parade there with this ice cream." Anyway, when we got to the parade there were no ice cream. The ice cream cart had gone. And I said to Ruth, "What now?" Anyway, we were so determined that we were going to find that ice cream. So we called on several houses to see whether somebody would have a cone ice cream. Nobody had. Anyway, just before we reached Ruth's home, we turned in at a little shop, and there was this big board that says, "Sinful ice cream." This was on a Sunday, and I said, "Ruth, I cannot be like that. Is it not sin to desire something like this on a Sunday?" And so the assistant said, "No, we don't sell cone ice cream." But I think the manager saw the two of us so desperate. We were so desperate, we were 80, and I think it was just after the World Cup. And the man said, "What is it?" And I said, "You know what? We too, we're 80, and we really want to have our ice cream." He said, "You just sit down." And so we sat down. And before long, the man came with two, I don't know where he got his cones from, with ice cream, and it was a fig and ginger ice cream. And I said, "Ruth, I think God is really with us." Anyway, Ruth likes that little story. But that was just a little things that cheer us up, and I'm quite sure Ruth is going to have many more such experiences. I would still like to challenge her to go on a what do you call it? Skydive. So I don't know what she has on her list, but I have a few things on my list, and I'm not far behind Ruth. So Ruth, everything of the best, and take this winter, take it cautiously, but you have to get to the summit, and I'm sure you will be laughing by the time you get there. So everything of the best for you. All love, love from the children, and love from each and everybody here. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Margaret. Ruth has spent much of her life within the District 6 community. And many years ago, when the Stepping Stones Children's Centre was formed as a place for the children of marginalized people to have a preschool education. It was set up with, I guess, very little resources, Gilbert, and a great vision, but very little to work with. And The Stepping Stone Children's Centre has been a beacon of hope for education in South Africa, and for the past, how many years, Thelma? Since 1976. But how long have you been there? 92. Okay. So for the past many years, Thelma Chisholm has been leading the Stepping Stone Children's Centre, and Ruth has been associated with every project around the Vatican Street Church, right? If it wasn't the Stepping Stone Children's Centre, it was Ons Plek and the District 6 Museum, and whatever project has been associated with the old Vatican Street Church and Central Methodist Mission, Ruth has been there to assist with the running of the show, etc. So I'm going to give Thelma an opportunity just to say a few words in honor of Ruth, who has served on the board of Stepping Stone Children's Centre, and we could have had representatives of all the organizations that Ruth has sat on the board of, but we've chosen Thelma as a special guest. Thank you, Thelma.
Be careful what you say, Thelma.
Okay, that's the fifth warning I've got tonight. Ruth, on behalf of the staff and retired staff and all the children and Board of Management, we wish you a very blessed 90th birthday.
Thank you very much.
And it's a real privilege here to be able to say something.
Thank you.
I'd like to, Auntie Ruth is known for we heard in the prayer also, the music, the artist, as well as the actor. But there's another angle to Ruth which I came to know of when I started at Stepping Stones Children's Centre, and that is the work that she's done there. And I remember my first meeting with Auntie Ruth was, maybe I thought it was hostile, but she didn't. She looked at me and she said, "You were at a high school and primary school, what do you know about young children?" And I said, well, that wasn't in the job spec. When they interviewed me, they asked for community development and non-racialism because of District 6. So after that, we settled in. But Auntie Ruth was the accountant for Stepping Stones Children's Centre. That was her expertise, and that was her day-to-day job. But she also worked at Gateway with she was the secretary to the late Reverend Rundle. And so for 5 days of the week, Ruth commuted between Kensington and Stepping Stones. 3 days or 2 days, just as the need was, getting on to a public taxi from Kensington to Cape Town to continue the work in the afternoon. And that's the side of Ruth that maybe not many know, the serious part of Ruth. Reverend Allen, she was a stern accountant at Stepping Stones. I came upon one day when Ruth was arguing with somebody, "You will not get it because there isn't that." And when I got closer, it was about a 10 rand. The person couldn't explain to her what had happened to the 3 rand of the 10 rand. And when the District 6 Museum also took Auntie Ruth as the treasurer, it was quite difficult for them. If there was no requisition, no accuracy, no expenditure, no check will be signed. And that was to and fro, and Auntie Ruth was extremely committed, loyal, totally honest. What needed to be done had to be done. And I'm sure, Auntie Ruth, if we had so many accountants with the dedication and the commitment that you have towards public funding, we would not have had the Bosasa Commission and all the corruption that we've had in our country if they had had that integrity of you. We don't find that, Auntie Ruth, and that was the quality. And you know what? With today's technology, you did it all manually. Auntie Ruth carried books and books. The cash book went with her. She brought it up to a trial balance ready to just be dropped at the auditor. In fact, the auditor, he always used to say, each time he came back, you made it so easy. Everything, checkbook statements, everything. And that was what Auntie Ruth brought to that project. And on a Friday, the music side, bring those kids down. Off she goes to the piano before she starts. And then they would have their musical, they would play and they would sing, and then Auntie Ruth would start again with the accounting business. She was treasurer and accountant, treasurer for the District 6 Museum as well. When the big funding came, she was there, and there were no releases of money done if they couldn't verify what it was for. So thank you for that loyalty, for that honesty, for that commitment to public funding, Auntie Ruth. That is a quality that is not around today, and that if we had more people with that same type of quality, we all know where our country would have been. But there was also, with Auntie Ruth, it was also forever laughter and joy. I have to share, there were many incidences that I can share with you, but the one I think I need to share. When the District 6 Museum just started, it was after our first democratic election. So many dignitaries came, princes and queens, and they all visited the District 6 Museum. So this particular year, the Deputy President of the United States, Al Gore, had to come for his visit. And of course, they came and they scrutinized the entire place, stepping stones as well as the street, as well as the District 6 Museum. We all had spaces where we had to stand. The sniffer dogs came in, everything. It was a hike for 2 days. We all had tickets where we had to stand and go. And we had Auntie Ruth's, and on the day of the event, we all had to be at the top because only the director and Al Gore and the bodyguard and somebody had to be down in the museum. Everybody else had to be at the top. And we had Auntie Ruth's ticket. She was coming from Kensington, and we stood there and we waited. And I got in a panic because I really did not know how much it meant for Auntie Ruth. She was a trustee of the District 6 Museum. And we're standing and I'm waiting and I'm looking around what's happening. And I went to the guys and said, look, here's her ticket, just she is late, let her in. And they said, no, once we close the doors, we close, sorry. Anyway, so there was nothing we could do. We went up and we stood. And Sandy Proselynders then took them around and explained everything. And photos were taken. She explained about the group areas and all the forced removals. And I was really saddened that Auntie Ruth had missed the next moment. In the gallery, nobody was supposed to go. Auntie Ruth comes marching down. Hi! Hi! And she says to Al Gore, pleased to meet you. I'm a trustee of the District 6 Museum. And everybody is standing, and the security and all of that. And Ruth said, did you enjoy the talk of forced removals? But you know what? I wanted to tell you, you are tall and handsome. He was so taken aback. She got the media confused because Sandy Proselynders then was quoted as Al Gore's wife, Papa. And I think they thought Auntie Ruth was then the director. Now, if you had been through those 2 days where those security guards were standing, you had to, we said, Auntie Ruth, how did you manage? How did you manage to bypass it? What do you mean, how did I manage? I just said, I'm going to tell Al Gore how handsome he is. And I just said, no. She pushed everybody aside. And only Auntie Ruth can do that. And there are many, many stories. But for us, you will always be that joyful, laughing accountant, committed, the professionalism that you displayed in your work, Auntie Ruth, was beyond, and it was an example to everybody. And I'd like to tell everybody here, yes, Auntie Ruth is 90 years old today, But 20 years ago, she was still working. Auntie Ruth retired very late. She was over 70 years old when she retired. And there was the one thing that we all remember when she was retiring was she would challenge the 40-year-olds and the 50-year-olds when she was 70, race me up the stairs. And Auntie Ruth always won. She always won that race up the stairs and back. So when you fell and broke, Auntie Ruth, they said, we'd like the race now. So thank you for your professionalism. Stepping Stones is where it is because of you.
Thank you.
The contribution and the stepping stones of other people that come, the support that people have brought in there, and I'm sure that table around there have all been linked to stepping stones. So thank you, Auntie Ruth. It's been wonderful to be part of the journey and to be able to stand here and wish you a very blessed 90th birthday.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Selma. Thank you, Selma, for those inspiring words. we do know where Karen got her gift for accounting. Okay, folks, before we ask Auntie Ruth to respond, I want to read a letter that we received from Nina Smith, who is Auntie Ray's daughter from Switzerland, and then I've got a short message from Washington, D.C. for Auntie Ruth to say, dear Auntie Ruth, last time I visited, you cooked this most amazing meal. No one can make a chicken pie like you can, as we sat down to our generous portions. You entertained us by telling us anecdotes interjected with some brisk jokes, asked me lots of questions about life in Switzerland. While I always remember your cooking, I was and am more impressed by your ability to remain curious, even at this delicious age. And you are still interested to know more about the world and ready to engage in a good chat. Though I sadly did not get to see your opera days, your music and heritage lives on in those recordings of old which captured your impressive talents and which we can still enjoy today. But what I cherish most is the side we have gotten to know over the latter years. These include the joys of family get-togethers, like the meals with Auntie Joan and Uncle Herbie, Sunday outings for lunch, Kyle's birthday celebrations, our return from his London and every visit since, which has given us all a bank of happy memories. We're relieved that you have weathered the physical challenges of the past few years, whether it was an operation, a hospital recuperation, or physical therapy. You handled it bravely with your indomitable spirit of independence and determination shining bright. Since my dad's untimely death, you've been there for my mom, lending an ear and fussing over her like an older sister. And for that, I am truly grateful. Auntie Ruth, you are admired, you are celebrated, and you are loved. So enjoy the celebration, surrounded by people you hold dear. Many congrats on becoming a nonagerian. I think 90 sounds pretty fantastic. Live from Nina, Martin, and Carl.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
And then I received a message from Washington, D.C., from Kimberly Birch, who says, please wish Ruth a very happy birthday from me. Tell her, give her my love. Tell her I hope I'm half as fabulous at 90 as she is.
Oh my gosh.
Have a wonderful time. So
Thank
Ruth,
you very much.
you are loved the world over. I'm going to give you an opportunity now to say a few
Oh
words.
my gosh, what do I say now?
But you remember, you've only got 5 minutes. Eh?
Should I take the stick or not?
Yes.
No. Do I have to climb up the steps? Gee, it's not safe to hold a man always like this. No thanks, I can walk without a stick. Oh, I see. Okay, no, that's fine. Well, I wrote my speech down because I can't remember everything I want to say. Good evening, friends, neighbors, and family. Can you hear me? The theme of this evening is entitled A Symphony of Timeless Classics. It is a lovely play on words, as I told my daughter, which encompasses music and my life. As you're all aware, my entire life has revolved around music from a very young age. Music was an everyday occurrence in my childhood home, and here I am at 90 years and still passionate about music. It was my purpose in life and has given me immense joy through good times and bad. Well, I will go off script here just a little bit to tell you about my grandmother, Ma. She loved the church, and there was a chapel on the property in Paul where she lived. Ma used to Am I speaking too loud? Is it okay? Ma loved the church, and there was a chapel on the property in Paul where she lived. Ma used to sing the most beautiful hymns, and I loved the way she sang. I promised myself that I would sing like her one day. Strangely enough, we had a dog, and his name was Jack. Jack also loved the way Ma used to sing, as he often used to copy her, and he would sing, la, 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 la. That is so true, I can still remember that. There are so many things I wish to highlight in my life, but then again, after having completed 90 years, that may take too long, and my daughter has me on a very short leash, as I was told to only speak for a few minutes. Okay, but I never do that. So allow me to firstly thank each and every one of you here this evening. I'm privileged to have made unforgettable memories with you, and moreover, that you are all here celebrating this 90-year milestone with me. God has been watching over me and has gifted me with as much as I am truly grateful to Him for my life. Each and every one of you have contributed to my life in such a significant way, and I'm deeply grateful for the fact that we can break bread together this evening and have such a wonderful music to keep us entertained. In this room tonight are friends whom I've known for many years, and the history we share is filled with love, laughter, happiness, supportiveness, joy, and love for music. Thank you for the beautiful journey we share. I intend for the next 10 years to be filled with lots more. Can you believe that, eh? You have always been there for me and my family, and our friendship over these years has sustained me in so many ways. Thank you for your kindness, your words of wisdom, your sacrifices, your honesty, your humor, your integrity, and most of all, your undying love and companionship. Thanks for putting up with my nonsense and being the most trusted friend anyone could ask for. My life has been enriched by you in it. Now, this evening also reminds me of being in this very room 10 years ago. And this is bittersweet, as 15 of my friends that were present here 10 years ago are no longer with us. That's why she's written lit the candles. These candles pay homage to them, and in our reminder that their light will shine not only this evening, but also in our lives. I have made deep friendships over the many years, and it is sad that those friends are no longer here. I shall always remember their love. Is there more to say? We just see. At that table, let me just see, I'm not quite sure, I can't see so well anymore. At that table, a few ministers were sitting there as well. let's just say that I guess I'm already secured my place in heaven. That's fine. So don't come look for me there later. Okay. Alan, is he there? I hope you're paying attention. And you better use this opportunity to make your notes for one day when I'm unable to have my voice heard. Clearly, that 3 should be 420. And I think do this all over again in another 10 years. So yes, church has always been my sanctuary. And so, having these ministers here tonight speaks of my life within the church. Alan, are you there? Thank you for your sacrifice and your ministries. Yeah, now, to my wonderful neighbors. Hey, that's not now. I'm grateful to you for always checking up on me and making sure that I have everything to need. I know that I can call upon you at any time, and I feel so secure knowing that you keep me safe. Thank you for your concern and conversations. Don't forget, we are a beautiful community in Walmerston. Don't forget that, where I live. Thank you. Now, I must say, I have to say a very, very big thank you to Terence Parker standing here. I've known him for many, many years. He was a big activist at that time. I remember with our public years. I don't forget that. He's a master of ceremonies tonight. He flew in especially for my birthday, all the way from Johannesburg. You are an incredible person. Thank you so much. I'll never forget when I was sitting in the office one day, in my office. He was in Wynberg, and he came in and he says, Ruth, I want to come here. This is the church where I want to leave there. I want to come here. I didn't know why, but he was always busy in politics, you know. And we at our church, we had a lot of politics. I mean, people came in there from all over, and I mean, people used to hide away there. Trevor Manuel, we had an office upstairs, I'll never forget. It was an old dirty office because the birds used to do it. But anyway, that was his hiding place. And so this guy comes along, and he wants to be there. But since he was there, it was just politics, politics, politics. And I love that because at Trafalgar High School where I was, the only thing that we discussed was politics that time. But anyway, friends, so Terence, thanks very much for being here. Now, is there anything else I want to say? No. Okay. My family, yes, my 3 children, they are my gift. They are always there for me, and some parents have their kids living overseas, and some folks do not even have relationships with their children. But I am lucky enough to have all of them here with me. So I want to say thank you to all my children. They give me some grief at times, but mostly they are my rock. So beautiful people, let us enjoy the rest of the evening, which my daughter has promised will be filled with lots more music and food. So enjoy. And once again, thank you all for celebrating this symphony of timeless classics. Grazie.
Thank you all for being here, right?
Folks, does everybody have a glass in front of them? Yep. Something alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
Or do you want another drink? Oh.
I don't know. Lauren, do you want to come? You've got a glass in your hand.
Oh.
We raise our glasses to an incredible woman who has touched so many lives over so many years. And we give thanks for the person that she is and for the many lives who have been changed by her love and her commitment. We raise a toast to Ruth. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ruth. Happy birthday to you. Pip.
Thank you very, very much. What a lovely evening.
It's amazing to be here. You're a real icon of Hallway Estate. We all know you. Praise the Lord that you reached 90. Thank all the best for you.
Good mother, yes. She was always there. Irrespective of what happened, she was there. Always there. Good mommy. Great mom. Lovely mom. Irrespective of what happened, always there for us, for the kids, my father, the marriage. And here she is today. Still my mom, and she's 90. Now what on earth must I say to you? I've got nothing else to say. This is my mother, man. I hope that my mother's going to be along for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if she lasts until 100. Her brain is good. She's gone through lots of medical problems. Thank God to my mother, to my father. Don't forget Charles Cookson. Charles Edward Cookson. My father, married to my mother. My parents raised me. I don't know what more to say. Thank you. And also, hang on, to my sister, Corin, keeps on arranging things. My brother, Michael, always there. Every problem has a kind of a reverse thing. But don't forget this. Myself, Max, my brother, Michael, Corin, my sister, we've been there. Mommy's been there. My father's been there. I've got nothing more to say. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mommy. Thanks for being a good mommy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Very good evening and a warm welcome to each and every one. I'm one of the three tenors singing tonight. My name is Paul Sawyer. And first of all, Ruth, a personal greeting to you. I'd like to say happy birthday. And I've been in touch with Ruth for some time, a long time. And first of all, I'm going to start off with a chorus piece taken from the opera Nabucco. It is called Va Pensiero. It is something like a light prayer. So I'm going to sing Va Pensiero. It's taken from the opera Nabucco. Thank you.
My Sol mare luccica, l'astro d'argento, placida in l'onda, prospero il vento. Sol mare luccica, l'astro d'argento, placida in l'onda, prospero il vento.
his ill bronchitis, and he sends his apology to Ruth and to everyone that he cannot be here because he's in bed. But now I would like to introduce to you Mr. Philip Swales, who was an ex-member of...
Is he here?
Yes, he is. Yeah. Philip Swales, who was an ex-member of the Ian Group for many, many years, and we took part in the same productions in, I'll say, in our heyday, and he's here to sing a lovely song to you.
Some enchanted evening, you may see a stranger, you may see a stranger across a crowded room, and somehow you know even then, that somehow you'll see her again and again. Some enchanted evening, someone may be laughing, you may see her laughing across a crowded room, and night after night, as strange as it seems, the sound of her laughter will sing in your dreams. Who can explain it? Who can tell me why? Fools give me reasons, wise men never try. Some enchanted evening, when you find your true love, when you feel her call you across a crowded room, then fly to her side and make her your own. All through your life you may dream all alone. Once you have found her, never let her go. Once you have found her, never let her go.
suoi sospir.
Si può morir, si può morir
We'll gather lilacs in the spring again and walk together down an English lane until our hearts have learned to sing again. When you come home once more,
and evening when the twilight's close, will hold me close and never let me go.
your eyes will tell me all I want to know. When you come home once more, we'll gather lilacs in the spring again and walk together down an English lane until our hearts have learned to sing again. When you come home once more, and in the evening by the firelight's glow, you'll hold me close and never let me go. Your eyes will tell me all I want to know. When you come home
birthday, beautiful lady.
Thank you.
We hope that we can bring some joy and some lovely music to you all. And if you want to sing with, please don't. But we will be doing next the prayer, and this is for you.
Thank you.
Watch us where we go.
We made many, many poor people. I realize, of course, it's no shame to be poor, but it's also not a great honor either. You know, that 220 million rand lotto would help just a little. What would it have been so terrible if I had just a small fortune? If I were a rich man, diddle-diddle, diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-dum, all day long I'd biddy-biddy-bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-dum. If I were a bitty-bitty rich, digga-digga-diddle-diddle man, I'd build a big tall house with rooms by the dozen, right in the middle of the town. A fine tin roof with real wooden floors below. There'd be one long staircase just going up, and one even longer coming down, and one more leading nowhere, just for show. I'd fill my yards with chicks and turkeys and geese and ducks for the town to see and hear, squawking just as noisily as they can, and each loud quack-a-quack-quack-quack will land like a trumpet on my ear, as if to say, yeah, it's a wealthy man. Oh, if I were a rich man, all day long I'd biddy-biddy-bum. If I were a wealthy man, wouldn't have to work hard. Diddle-diddle-diddle-digga-digga-diddle-diddle-dum. If I were a bitty-bitty rich, digga-digga-diddle-diddle man, I'd see my wife, my Golda, looking like a rich man's wife with a proper double chin, supervising meals to her heart's delight. I'd see her putting on airs and strutting like a peacock. Oi, what a happy mood she's in, screaming at the servants day and night. The most important men in town will come and fall on me. They will ask me to advise them, like Solomon the Wise. If you please, Reptavia, pardon me, Reptavia, posing questions that would cross a rabbi's eyes. Boy, 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 boy. And it won't make one bit of difference if I answer right or wrong. When you're rich, they really think you know. If I were rich, I'd have the time that I like to sit in the synagogue and pray, and maybe have a seat by the eastern wall. And I discuss the holy book with a learned men 7 hours of the day. That would be the sweetest thing of all. If I were a rich man, diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-dum, all day long I'd biddy-biddy-bum. If I were a wealthy man, wouldn't have to work hard. Diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-dum. Lord, who made the lion and the lamb, you declared I should be what I am. Would it spoil some vast eternal plan if I were a wealthy man? Mira che sta mi corazón ansio d'armo otra vez que yo sentí que mi calza diquiera amor
oceani schiuda gran suo, e già le corrosi sudita, carezza di fiori e la intorno il creato ci appar, e tu non ti resti e di lavoro, mi sto qui dolenti a canetar. Metti anche tu la veste bianche e schiudi l'uscio al tuo canto. La luce manca, ove tu sei, nasce l'amor. Non sei, la luce manca, ove tu sei, nasce l'amor. La donna mobile. La donna immobili, quel firmamento, muda del cielo e di pensiero. Sempre una mobile, leggiadro viso, in pianto riso e menzognero. La donna immobile, qual piuma al vento, muta del cielo. E di pensiero
goes to Ruth, the drinking song.
Thank you for the music. Thank you. We've come to that time of the evening where we need to say thank you. And Janine gets a special thank you with a special bunch of flowers. We want to say thank you very much for the musicians, those who performed earlier for us, the Wine String Quartet, and Luke Smith and her group, the New Apostolic Church Choir, and of course the three tenors, our soprano, and our bass. There's Mr. Swell. Thank you very much for making this a very special evening. Ruth, thank you for hanging in until 90 so that we could have this evening. If it wasn't for your if it wasn't for your resilience and all the many miracles in your life that have brought you here to this day, we would not be here today. So we give thanks to God for caring for you, for carrying you, for being at your side when you felt that you needed it most. We thank everybody who has made this evening a very special occasion. And I won't thank Karen because she doesn't want me to thank her, but I want to say a special thank you to Stacy, who has left already, and Ethel, who work for Karen and therefore are at Karen's mercy every day. And perhaps didn't have much choice, but they really put so much effort into making this day a very special day. So Ethel, thank you. Please convey your thanks to Stacy for us. We want to thank all the musicians. We want to thank the video team. You don't realize just how amazing this videographer and the team has been. So Ricardo, where's Ricardo? Probably working at the back. Thank you to Ricardo and his team, Ricardo Koopman. We want to thank the staff of Calvin Grove, Nicolette, and all the staff that served us this evening. I've been asked to say, if you notice that beautiful banner at the back that said, "Happy 90th birthday, dearest Ruth." That is a beautiful banner made by Suri Renshaw, so thank you, Suri, for that. And then been working very quietly in the background. And his response has been, "Yes, dear." Owen Mitchell, thank you very much for all your hard work, especially for knowing exactly what answer to give. Yes, dear. Folks, you are welcome to have a cup of coffee, cup of tea, and please take a cupcake. The cupcake has a musical symbol on it. And no cupcake in Ruth's life could be without music. So please take a cupcake if you don't have it. Thank you for sharing in this very special occasion with us, and we wish you well. Travel safely, and please keep in touch. Many of you would have wanted to say or give a tribute to Ruth tonight. If you have something that's really burning on your heart that you'd like to say to Ruth, please email it to Karen. She will very quickly make a little booklet out of all the good wishes and the memories of tonight. So thank you very much, and God bless. Bye-bye. Sure. You always have the last word, Ruth.
I just want to say thank you to you people. All that memories to me, all the things that I've sung. And I want to say a very big thank you to you. And also to the quartet that played here, and the choir. I had to cry because I listen to them every Sunday night. I love the choir, and I want to say thank you to Karen and the two boys. I mean, I didn't expect this. I didn't even know about it. When she knew it was my birthday, she said, "Mommy, I'm inviting your friends." I said, "I don't want anything," and I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even know who she invited.
You discovered who your friends were tonight. Who your surviving friends are. Those who survived.
I want to say thank you for everybody who's come here. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. And we're now 21 again.
do that. I'm going to start a photo there. There we are. Here we go, and 3, 2, 1, here we go.